Welcome to the workshop, Building Your Academic Profile Online for Early Career Scholars. I'm Jing Han, Digital Scholarship Librarian at UCR Library. The workshop has 4 sections: introducing specific academic online profiles, measuring scholarly impact and metrics, open access publishing at UC, and networking strategies. Your academic profile online can include both published works or any work in progress. It can also take various forms, such as a website, social media profiles, or engagement with the research community. It exists no matter if you are curating it purposefully or not. So it's paramount that you take control of your academic profile online. So what are some benefits of having an online academic profile? It can help you achieve recognition and discover collaboration opportunities, reduce the effects of false or misleading information about you or your work. It can also help increase the discoverability and indirectly citation counts of your work. At last, it's also a form of engagement with your research community. How can you get started? There are 2 simple steps and some considerations. First, you need to have an open research and contributor ID. It's often called ORCID. Second, you need to set up your Google Scholar profile. We will also discuss author profiles on Scopus, Web of Science, and Figshare. Other considerations include using social networking platforms professionally. Open Researcher and Contributor ID is a free, unique identifier for people. It's often required by grants and publishers. You might have heard of another unique identifier for research: Digital Object Identifier, DOI, for articles, datasets, and digital academic outputs in general. You can add employment, services, works, awards, and other fields into your ORCID record manually or automatically using the feature Search and Link. Pause the video for a minute and create your ORCID account and follow the tutorials to learn more. Next, create your Google Scholar profile. The left panel in the example screenshot is this researcher's research impact, measured by H-index and other metrics. We will discuss scholar impact and metrics soon. Pause the video for 1 minute and create your Google Scholar profile by following the steps on the screen. Author profiles on Scopus and Web of Science are created automatically, as they find and index articles written by you online. Both are abstract and citation databases and provide various metrics for measuring research impact. UCR Library only has access to Web of Science. Figshare is a repository that also provides author profile and metric tracking. I also want to mention 2 commercial platforms that you might have seen. Academic.edu and ResearchGate are 2 controversial and often spammy for-profit companies, meaning they can monetize user data and have no infrastructure for preserving your information if something happens to the companies. I personally do not recommend using these 2 platforms. Now, let's look at the benefits of adding social media platform use to the practice of curating your academic profile online. Using social media platforms professionally can help you build your academic networks, find collaborators, learn about grants, conferences, and advances in research. It can also help you engage with the public and extend the reach of your research. Communicating your research on these platforms can also influence policymaking and public opinion. LinkedIn, Blue Sky, and Mastodon are 3 social networking platforms that scholars like to use based on my personal experience. The best practices include separating your professional accounts from personal ones, updating your privacy settings at the moment of account setup, making sure that you have the same usernames across the platforms, and updating your profiles often. Terms of Service Didn't Read is a tool that can translate often dense terms of service agreements to simple format. Now, let's talk about metrics and scholarly impact. There are 3 levels of metrics traditionally: article, author, and journal. For article, citation count is an important metric. Number of publications and citation count are impactful for measuring the scholar impact of an author. The prestige of a journal is really important as well. In addition to these metrics, there are many more you can explore in the metrics toolkit. I also want to emphasize Altmetrics, which tracks and measures scholar impact in a non-traditional and more comprehensive way, which includes serving various spaces online, such as social media, blogs, policy documents, and Wikipedia citations. This visualization summarizes well for the three traditional levels: article, author, journal, and non-traditional ways of measuring scholarly impact, such as measuring online presence and other types of scholarly outputs, including datasets and software. Take a minute to go through different scenarios for scholarly impact assessment. Now, one quick activity. Let's compare the metrics you have seen on Google Scholar with the same metrics on Web of Science for the same researcher. Do you see a difference? How would you interpret different scholarly metrics when it comes to measuring your scholarly impact? Note, different disciplines have different established ways of measuring scholarly impact. You can learn more about that by consulting with your advisors. Let's move on to open access. One of the commonly asked questions by early career scholars is how I can get started. One common answer is taking advantage of open access publishing. Other common steps include publishing book reviews and publishing conference presentations and posters with the conference organizers. Open access means free access to information and unrestricted use of electronic resources for everyone. Open access is often referred as open access publishing. You might have heard about other open concepts, such as open data, open educational resources, OER, open source, and open science. There is a growth in research institutions and universities adopting open access mandates or policies. We will mention UC open access policies soon. Publishing open access is often required by grant. It helps increase policy influence by making your research available to the public, not behind a paywall subscription. For researchers, open access publishing helps increase citation count and exposure, which earlier career scholars can take advantage of. UCR Library has paid subscription fees to more than 500 databases. As a UCR affiliate, you have access to more than 500 databases from UCR Library that the general public often doesn't have access to. But open access publishing does not mean it's free. There are three types of open access publishing: gold, green, and diamond. Gold open access requires authors or institutions to pay an article processing charge. For some journals, this fee can be more than around $10,000. Green and diamond open access have no publishing fee. But for UC authors, UC open access journal agreements can cover the fee, often referred to as APC, partially or fully. We will mention more on that soon. UC open access policies allow UC employees to deposit a version of their publications to eScholarship, which is UC's institutional repository, despite the journal publishing agreements that UC authors have signed with the publishers. This practice is part of green open access. There are lots of details within the UC OA policies. You can read more by following the link in the slide. In some, UC OA policies cover all employees but not students who are not paid by the UC. The coverage includes scholarly articles, which can include journal articles, conference proceedings, and book chapters, but full books are not included. UC OA policies are not the same as UC OA journal agreements. The latter helps UC authors, including students, to pay for article processing fees for open access publishing partially or fully. You can use the Journal Open Access Lookup tool in the slide to explore which journals are covered by UC OA journal agreements and the details. Now we have learned UC OA policies and UC OA journal agreements. You can think of eScholarship as an implementation of the UC OA policies. eScholarship is UC's institutional repository and open access publishing platform. Remember Green Open Access? It's managed by California Digital Library, which is part of the UC system, alongside with the 10 UC campuses. The platform eScholarship has Altmetric integration. It's designed for long-term preservation, meaning the items are very hard to be removed completely. Each item will be assigned a DOI and indexed by various databases and discovery tools. We will mention more about eScholarship in a separate video. Now, let's take a minute to explore the Journal Lookup tool. Pick a journal you want to publish with open access and use the tool to check if the APC Article processing charge is covered by the UCOA journal agreement. Also explore e-scholarship freely or based on the instruction. Let's end this video by discussing some networking strategies for early career scholars. Attending and presenting at conferences is the first strategy. There, you will have a chance to meet your collaborators, outside advisors, and get feedback on your work. Second strategy is joining professional associations. Membership usually is not free but affordable to students. Your department also might have funding for you to pay for membership. Next, you can volunteer to serve on editorial boards of existing journals. You can also volunteer to organize conferences and other scholarly or professional development events. You might get free registration for conferences as volunteers. Thanks for joining the workshop. I would really appreciate if you can take a minute to complete the survey. I'm Jing Han, Digital Scholarship Librarian at UCR Library. Contact me if you have any questions.